Okay, hey, well, welcome back. So, if you watched my one of my previous videos, I talked about COVID-19 and treating it with ivermectin, the anti-parasitic drug. And obviously, if you've been on social media at any point in time recently, you've seen it. That is the talk of the town, if you will. Everyone's discussing it. Everyone's overreacting to it. But recently, this guy here, Joe Rogan podcast host, got COVID and had kind of a different way of going about treating it. So he released this video here on, looks like September 1st. So let's go ahead and we'll watch it and we'll see what he has to say about it and kind of analyze it from there. Because in my opinion, most of the internet has been kind of overreacting to the whole thing. So here we go.
Hello, friends. So I got back from the road Saturday night, feeling very weary. I had a headache, and I just felt run down. And just to be cautious, I separated from my family, slept in a different part of the house, and throughout the night, I got fevers and sweats, and I knew what was going on. So I got up in the morning, got tested, and turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it. All kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything. And I also got an NAD drip and a vitamin drip, and I did that 3 days in a row. And so here we are on Wednesday, and I feel great. I really only had one bad day. Sunday sucked, but Monday was better. Tuesday felt better than Monday, and today I feel good. I actually feel pretty fucking good. That's the good news. The bad news is we have to move the Friday show in Nashville.
Okay, he's just talking about shows then. Okay, so what he said from that, he goes on to talk about, what he said was, quote, throwing the kitchen sink at it, right? So there was a whole bunch of different stuff he mentioned. He mentioned these type of, I guess, antibodies, ivermectin, Z-Pak, which I'm not sure what that is, but maybe in the next video we're going to watch, he'll get into it. So at this point, he's not claiming anything as some sort of miracle cure. He's saying that he went, from this description he gave, like he went to a doctor. This was stuff that was prescribed to him, things that he did. Now, you can make the argument, okay, that because he's Joe Rogan and he's rather wealthy, that, yeah, that based on the medical care that he's able to obtain, he can get all of these things, right? Like he can have all these different treatments going on simultaneously, and say the average person couldn't. But I think the most important part to pick up here and to consider in this video is he's already sick. Okay, he's not talking about preventative, right? Because obviously, like if you get vaccinated, that's preventative. That's not going to treat it. You can't get the vaccine if you're already sick. So then later on his podcast, he goes on to clarify a little bit about what happened and some of the stuff he was taking. So let's go ahead and listen to that too, and we'll see where things go from there, if we can get any more information. So here we are.
Well. If it isn't old horseworm Rogan. I'm glad you're well, man.
Bro, do I have to sue CNN?
I don't know, do you?
They're making shit up. They keep saying I'm taking horse dewormer. I literally got it from a doctor.
Okay, so that's the first one. It's kind of like I said, right? So he got the stuff from a doctor, right? Because if remember from my previous video, ivermectin, while it can be used while it can be used for animals, it also has dosages based for people as well. So if he got it from a doctor, he's going to be getting the person-sized dose for it.
It's an American company.
Mm-hmm.
They won the Nobel Prize in 2015 for use in human beings.
Yeah.
And
Could be.
CNN is
I haven't
saying
looked
I'm
that up.
taking horse dewormer.
Yeah, what? So
They must know that that's a lie.
Well, there's a lot of people saying it.
Right, but a lot of people can say it.
Okay.
Like the internet says it, who cares?
sure, but
But
it's,
CNN is saying it. Like Jim Acosta.
But I meant like USA Today, a few other
yeah.
places,
and they're
not just
talking
people.
about ivermectin,
Yeah.
right? So what? Because I don't know. I just saw so much news
Yeah.
about you. I mean, I would talk to you and check on you and see if you're all right. And you're like, you threw the kitchen sink at it. You said,
Yeah.
which was stuff that you took IV drips and was it
Monoclonal antibodies.
and that what is monoclonal antibodies?
It's the shit they gave Trump.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then what? So who said, or did you already want ivermectin? Like,
Well, I had this guy on, Dr. Pierre Corey, and he is, what is the organization he's from? Frontline COVID Critical Care Workers. He's well-established doctors, treated thousands of people with COVID, and they've, early on in the pandemic, they found some good efficacy with ivermectin.
So I'd be curious, because like I said, in my last video where we actually kind of read about ivermectin to figure out like what it was and why people were taking it, the results that I saw, where it showed that the results were less than desirable, right? Like they weren't getting the best possible results from it, they thought. Now that being said, it may still be something that can treat symptoms. Because again, what we're talking about here is Joe, he is already sick in this case. So he's not, a vaccination's out of the question if you're sick, right? Like if you have the flu, they don't give you the flu vaccine to get you better, right? There's a difference between preventative medicine and treating symptoms.
Frontline 19 Critical Care Alliance.
okay.
Yeah. So I had him on, and he had talked to me about it. He's not the only doctor that told me to take it. Multiple doctors told me to take it.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to have what is the exact thing it's supposed to do? There's something that I highlighted. And this is obviously, I'm not a doctor. It says ivermectin was found to be a blocker of viral replicase, REPLICASE protease, and I don't know what this word is. Human TMPRSS2. I don't know. But what they didn't highlight is that I got better.
Yeah, you got better quickly.
They try to make it seem as if like I'm doing some wacky shit that's completely ineffective. And
Right.
CNN was saying that I'm a distributor of misinformation. Also, that was the other thing that happened. In Tokyo, in Japan, which is apparently they're very conservative about the medication that they use and the medications that they endorse. But the Tokyo Medical Association chairman held a live press conference recommending ivermectin to all doctors for all COVID patients.
So what's going on with it's kind of hard to figure out what's the truth in a lot of things. But with regard to this, people go, it's insane to take ivermectin. Like you see it everywhere. Everyone's like, this is wild. Don't take this shit. And then you have the head of the fucking Tokyo whatever medical commission saying, take ivermectin.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know what's going on, man. There's a lot of speculation. One of the speculations involves the emergency use authorization for the vaccines. That in order for there to be an emergency use authorization, there has to be no treatment for a disease.
I guess I should look that up. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I feel like, though, even if it is true, you can still, you could still issue that emergency use, right? Like, I don't know. Either way, the point being, I guess the part of this that I got from it was he was seeing a doctor. These were things that were prescribed to him. He was taking the recommended dosages of these things, like calling him, he's giving out misinformation and stuff like that. Not really. He's just telling you how he was treated. It's like we have to remember when you're being treated for something, your doctor is going to evaluate you and figure out what course of action they think you should take based on who you are, your body type, all sorts of other stuff, pre-existing conditions, whatever. Maybe you have an allergy. So nowhere in this whole thing did he ever say that he was self-treating or that he went out and got some ivermectin from like the Tractor Supply place, whatever, or livestock medication and did that, right? There was never anywhere where he said that. He always indicated that he was seeing a doctor for it, which is like what you should be doing, right? You should be consulting with a doctor. And again, I'll reiterate, like at this point, he's already sick. A vaccine's not going to cure him. It's not going to help him. Like he could probably get it now because he's not sick anymore, but or I guess you have to like wait a certain amount of time. But when you're in that state of treatment, you're not curing it, right? So You're not working about curing, you're working about treating. So if you have a headache, you might take some aspirin or some Tylenol. Those aren't curing the headache, they are just relieving your pain, right? All right, let's watch a couple more minutes. We'll see what else he's got.
Right.
So because there is this treatment in ivermectin, and there's other treatments too.
Right.
Because of this, there's a lot of pushback against potential treatments and pretending that they don't really work or that they're conspiracy theories. This is the grand conspiracy, right? The grand conspiracy is that the pharmaceutical companies are all in cahoots to try to make anybody who takes this stuff look crazy. But what's crazy is look how better I got.
Yeah.
I got better pretty quick, bitch.
Let's go to like your whole experience.
Yeah.
So you get back from a trip, right? And is it that night? Do you arrive home and know, or like on your way home, you're like, I don't feel so great?
Well, Saturday, here's what happened. Friday night, we went out and got hammered. Went out and
Probably
played
not a
pool
good
till
idea.
3:30 in the morning. Had a bunch of drinks. Had a bunch of drinks at the show. At the show, I think I had 2 drinks, and then I had like 4 afterwards. So we're pretty lit.
Yeah.
And it was 3:30 in the morning. Exhausted, plane travel. Flew that day from. I guess so. Fort Lauderdale was the first show.
Alright,
Then that was Tampa. Out Friday night, because it's 3:30 in the morning. But I was also just feeling a little. If I had COVID, it was just like beginning stages. But I thought it was a hangover.
Right. Which kind of confuses
Yeah.
the way how you can read it.
So drank a lot of water, ate, took a bunch of vitamins, went to sleep, got up for the show, felt good. And so just feeling worn out, And when I got home, I was like, man, something just fevers, and I wasn't feeling good.
And you knew it then?
I woke up in the morning, I knew it. By the time in the morning, I was like, something's going on. And then
And this is Sunday?
Sunday.
So Sunday you find out you're positive, and then that day you feel sick, right? You're just in bed, relaxed.
Yeah,
like
that
resting.
day, headache, sick,
And
weak.
do you immediately? This is what I hadn't asked you yet. Did you have a plan in place in your head for like, if I get COVID, I would
Yes.
do these?
Yes.
So when you find out you're positive,
Yeah.
you start reaching out for these treatments.
Yeah, I already had it in place.
You did.
Yeah, I was already ready to go.
So and then you start taking them that day.
Yeah, I got it. I got all the stuff that I needed. Took it that day, and then Monday I felt pretty fucking good. And I was taking vitamin IV drips every day, high dose of vitamin C.
So that's one thing that I would be curious about, just because I feel like IV drips are something that like the average person isn't getting, right? Like obviously, I'm assuming he got this from a doctor, as he said before, but that's one of those things where that may be a disparity of like access to healthcare in that one, because I don't know, like a lot of these treatments are kind of expensive, so I don't know how accessible it is to, say, your average person. If someone, like, say, I got sick or whatever, if I was able to get that's the same thing. So I don't know. Some of it might be accessible just because Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan. But we'll see. We'll see what else he says. Like, well, maybe we'll do a couple more minutes. We'll see what we get.
Vitamin D and NAD as well.
My concern when I spoke to you was just, will you please fucking rest? That's what I texted you. I was like, no hill runs, no fucking kettlebells, and don't wrestle any fucking cattle today. Just rest.
I did.
You're like, I'm going to rest. I'm going to rest.
I rested.
I know.
I did. I rested.
I know.
Did.
I
I
think that-
didn't do shit but watch TV. I actually enjoyed the first couple days because I
Yeah.
was like, this is a nice, like a legit, solid excuse.
Like, no, you have to cancel your dates. I was like, all right, it'll be like a nice week off.
After I did this and I hit it with the NAD and the high dose vitamin C, I think it was 10,000 milligrams of vitamin C
Seems like
in
a
the
lot.
IV drip, which is like it's very effective. It goes right into your bloodstream, right?
Yeah.
After that and the monoclonal antibodies and all the other stuff, literally on Monday I felt pretty fucking good.
So that's pretty fast.
Pretty
man.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine, when I got COVID, I was in like the hospital recovering from.
Okay. I think we're good there. We get the gist of what he was saying. So to recap, right? Like he was taking a whole bunch of different medications, vitamins, all sorts of stuff, but these were all things that he got from doctors. Okay. There was no point in time, whether in the Instagram video or this clip from his podcast here, where he was ever saying that he self-medicated or that he went out and got it on his own and, did it in his own home or anything. There was none of that stuff that he ever indicated. So it seems to me that's kind of responsible, right? I mean, if you're getting this information, you're getting this stuff from a doctor, right? That can't be too bad, right? I think personally, I think that was the right thing to do, right? Consult a doctor. You get sick, you get tested, ask your doctor, hey, what do you recommend we treat this with, right? Because again, for like the third or fourth time, once you're sick, the vaccine doesn't cure you. The vaccine is preventative, right? So it's usually why we give people vaccines, to prevent them from getting sick. So unfortunately, he got sick, so he's now in the treatment phase, right? All in all, though, just as you can see from the brief Instagram video and this one, the media and the public in general just way overreacted, in my opinion, at least, to this. I mean, they were acting like he was just, selling this miracle cure, whatever. It was nothing like that. He was literally just doing what his doctor was telling him to do. As for talking about, as for like just talking about it and why he even brought it up, again, because he's an entertainer. He has shows that he does. He was updating his audience in that. So anyway, hopefully this shed a little more light on the whole situation and kind of outlined how a lot of people just way overreacted to this when this first came out. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Hope you learned something. And as always, I will see you next time.